In the stillness of morning, the day stretches before us, holding within it a canvas of possibilities, just waiting to be painted. Yet often our first thoughts as we rise can drown in a tide of worries and emotional weight, clouding the clarity of this new dawn. But what if I told you that placing God at the forefront could radically transform your entire outlook? Imagine waking up and surrendering every concern, fear, and aspiration to a higher power. By doing so, you invite peace into your heart, clarity into your mind, and rest into your soul. In this journey, we draw inspiration from the remarkable story of Daniel, a man who faced unimaginable challenges, yet chose unwavering faith through fervent prayer. His remarkable reliance on divine guidance offers us a compelling invitation to prioritize our connection with God amidst life's chaos. This video will inspire you to kickstart your day, not with burdens, but with gratitude, reflection, and intercession, calling you to uplift others who may be battling their own storms. As we close with the profound words of the Lord's Prayer, remember that placing God first is not merely a ritual. It's a life-altering decision that ignites hope and prosperity within your spirit. Are you ready to transform your mornings, ignite your faith, and embrace the peace that lies in surrender? Let's embark on this transformative journey together. 1. Awaken to awareness. The power of first thoughts. 2. Surrendering worries. Trusting God with your burdens. 3. Divine clarity. Finding focus in the chaos. 4. Inspired by Daniel. Strength in faith. 5. The gift of gratitude. Shifting your perspective. 6. Intercession. Lifting up others in prayer. 7. The transformative power of the Lord's Prayer. If this is resonating with you so far, give the video a like and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Your support helps this message reach more hearts, seeking peace and purpose in their daily lives. We've talked about the incredible power of your first thoughts, the liberation that comes from surrendering your worries, and how prioritizing God brings divine clarity amidst the chaos. We've found strength in the unwavering faith of Daniel, a man who chose God first in every circumstance. Now, let's continue our journey, moving from these foundational elements into the active practices that can truly transform your every morning, and indeed, your entire life. 5. The gift of gratitude. Shifting your perspective. After acknowledging God, surrendering your burdens, finding clarity, and drawing inspiration from faith giants like Daniel, the next profound step in transforming your morning and your entire day is embracing the gift of gratitude. This isn't just a fleeting feeling. It's a conscious practice, a profound discipline that can radically shift your perspective from one of lack and anxiety to one of abundance and peace. Think about it. In the modern world, we are constantly bombarded with messages that tell us what we don't have. Social media showcases curated lives, advertisements scream about the latest must-have products, and the news often highlights global crises and personal hardships. It's easy to fall into a cycle of comparison, dissatisfaction, and an overwhelming sense of what's missing. But gratitude acts as a powerful counter-narrative to this pervasive cultural current. It compels us to pause, to look around, and to intentionally acknowledge the blessings that are already present in our lives, often the very things we take for granted. Consider your morning routine. Did you wake up in a warm bed, under a solid roof? Did you have access to clean water to shower, to brew your coffee or tea? Did you put on clothes that protect you from the elements? For many, these are such mundane realities that they barely register. Yet, for billions around the world, these are unimaginable luxuries. When you begin to consciously acknowledge these basic provisions, your heart begins to open. You start to see the hidden miracles woven into the fabric of your everyday existence. Practicing gratitude is not about ignoring difficulties or pretending that life is always perfect. Far from it. True gratitude is about recognizing that even amidst challenges, there are always elements to be thankful for. It's about choosing to focus on what you have rather than what you lack. This isn't naive optimism. It's a profound spiritual principle that redirects your energy. When you focus on blessings, you expand your capacity to receive more of them. You signal to your spirit and to the divine that you are open and appreciative. How can you integrate gratitude into your fast-paced modern life? It's simpler than you might think. Start small. Before you even check your phone in the morning, pause for 1 minute. What's one thing you are truly grateful for right now? Is it the quiet of the morning? The sunrise peeking through your window? The warmth of your blanket? A loved one sleeping nearby? Let that feeling of appreciation wash over you. This simple act immediately recalibrates your mindset from a state of scarcity to a state of sufficiency. Throughout the day, look for opportunities to practice mindful appreciation. Stuck in traffic? Instead of frustration, perhaps a moment of gratitude for having a safe vehicle, or for the opportunity to listen to a podcast, or even just for the extra time to breathe and recenter. Feeling overwhelmed at work? Be grateful for the job itself, for the skills you possess, for the colleagues who support you, or for the opportunity to contribute. These small shifts compound over time, building a robust inner fortress of contentment and resilience. Gratitude also helps us see God's hand in our lives more clearly. When you begin to enumerate your blessings, you recognize them as divine provisions. That comfortable bed, that warm coffee, that supportive friend, they are all expressions of God's care and generosity. This recognition deepens your relationship with the divine, transforming your understanding of God from an abstract concept to a tangible, ever-present provider. It transforms your prayers from mere requests into heartfelt expressions of thanks. Remember Daniel, even when faced with the terrifying prospect of being thrown into a lion's den, he continued his practice of prayer, giving thanks to God. He didn't wait for his circumstances to improve to be grateful. His gratitude was a bedrock of his faith, a testament to his trust in God's sovereignty regardless of the outcome. This deep-seated gratitude enabled him to face unthinkable terror with a calm spirit, knowing he was held in God's hands. It's a powerful lesson. Gratitude isn't a response to comfort. It's a prerequisite for spiritual strength and peace, especially when life is anything but comfortable. The simple act of keeping a gratitude journal, even just listing 3 new things each day, can profoundly rewire your brain. Over time, you'll find yourself naturally scanning your environment for things to appreciate, rather than things to complain about. This isn't just psychological trickery. It's a spiritual discipline that aligns your heart with God's abundance. It opens your eyes to the constant flow of grace that surrounds you, transforming mundane moments into sacred encounters. By choosing gratitude, you choose to see the world not through the lens of what's broken, but through the lens of what is blessed, turning your worries into wonder and your anxieties into appreciation. It's a fundamental shift that empowers you to approach your day with an open heart, ready to receive and to give. Intercession, lifting up others in prayer. Once your heart is steeped in gratitude, a natural expansion of your spiritual practice unfolds, the profound act of intercession. Intercession is more than just praying for someone. It's about standing in the gap on behalf of another, bringing their needs, their struggles, their hopes, and their very being before God. It's an act of profound empathy, selflessness, and spiritual solidarity. In our individualistic modern society, it's easy to become consumed by our own needs, our own schedules, our own anxieties. The news cycle, while informative, can often make us feel helpless or overwhelmed by the sheer volume of global suffering. We might sigh, shake our heads, and move on. But intercession offers a different, more empowered response. It provides a tangible way to participate in God's redemptive work in the world, to extend compassion beyond our immediate circle, and to act as channels of divine love and healing for others. Consider the story of Daniel again. While he certainly prayed for his own deliverance, a significant part of his prayer life was dedicated to interceding for his people, Israel, for their sins and for their restoration. He wasn't just focused on his personal plight in Babylon. His heart was large enough to encompass the struggles of an entire nation. This expansive heart is what God invites us into when we practice intercession. How do we lift up others in prayer in a practical way in our busy lives? Begin with those closest to you. As you start your day, after you've expressed your gratitude, intentionally bring to mind family members, friends, or colleagues who are facing challenges. Perhaps a loved one is struggling with an illness, a friend is experiencing financial hardship, or a colleague is dealing with stress at work. Instead of just worrying about them or sending a quick text, pause and lift them up to God. Ask for specific needs to be met, for healing, for wisdom, for comfort, for provision. Imagine God's light and love surrounding them. Expand your circle. Think about your community. Are there local issues that weigh on your heart? Perhaps a neighborhood struggling with crime, a school system facing challenges, or individuals experiencing homelessness. Take a moment to pray for these situations, for solutions, for the people involved. This widens your spiritual gaze beyond your personal orbit, connecting you to the broader human experience and the specific needs around you. Then extend your intercession globally. The sheer volume of global crises can be daunting, but you don't need to pray for every single one. Choose one or two issues that genuinely stir your heart. It might be a region affected by conflict, a population facing famine, or leaders grappling with complex decisions. When you hear a news report that troubles you, instead of just feeling despair, use it as a trigger for prayer. Offer a silent petition, a heartfelt cry to God, trusting that even a whisper can move mountains when it's aligned with His will. This transforms your consumption of news from a passive, often anxiety-inducing experience into an active, empowering act of spiritual engagement. The power of intercession isn't just about the person being prayed for. It's also profoundly transformative for the one praying. When you consistently pray for others, your empathy grows. You learn to see the world through the eyes of compassion, stepping outside your own concerns to genuinely connect with the struggles of others. This breaks down self-centeredness and fosters a deeper sense of connection with humanity. You become more humble. You acknowledge that you cannot fix everything on your own, and you entrust the situations to a higher power, recognizing God's ultimate sovereignty and ability to act. So you experience peace. Instead of carrying the weight of the world's problems on your shoulders, you release them into God's capable hands. This doesn't mean you stop caring, but it means you don't have to carry the burden alone. Your faith is strengthened as you witness answers to prayer, or even subtle shifts in situations. Your belief in God's active involvement in the world deepens. You see evidence of His love and power at work. You align with God's heart. God is inherently compassionate and desires the well-being of all His creation. When you intercede for others, you are participating in His divine mission, acting as His hands and feet in the spiritual realm. This draws you closer to His very nature. In the midst of your daily grind, your commute, your work tasks, your chores, you can sprinkle moments of intercession. A traffic jam can become a prayer for emergency responders. A difficult meeting can become a prayer for wisdom and understanding for all involved. A moment of frustration can become a prayer for patience for yourself and others. These small, consistent acts of reaching out in prayer for others build a spiritual muscle that empowers you, shifts your perspective from inward to outward, and transforms your everyday life into a constant flow of love and service, reflecting the very heart of God. It's a powerful way to remember that placing God first isn't just about personal blessing, but about becoming a conduit for His blessings to flow through you to the world. The transformative power of the Lord's Prayer. Having cultivated gratitude and engaged in selfless intercession, we arrive at the pinnacle of our daily spiritual practice, integrating the profound, transformative power of the Lord's Prayer into your mornings. This isn't merely a set of words to be recited by rote. It is a divinely inspired blueprint for communion with God, a comprehensive framework that encompasses all aspects of faith, relationship, and daily living. It is, in essence, the perfect prayer for placing God first in every dimension of your existence. Jesus Himself taught this prayer to His disciples when they asked Him how to pray. He didn't just give them a formula. He gave them a living guide, a distillation of spiritual truth that, when truly understood and prayed from the heart, can reorient your entire being towards God's will and purpose. Let's unpack its power, phrase by phrase, and see how it can revolutionize your daily life. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. ... Thanks. This opening line immediately sets the tone. It acknowledges God's dual nature, both intimately personal, our Father, and infinitely transcendent, in heaven. He is approachable, loving, and cares for us like a parent. Yet, He is also holy, majestic, and beyond our full comprehension. To hallow His name means to treat it as sacred, to revere it, to recognize His inherent worthiness of worship above all else. In modern life, this means consciously setting aside the distractions and demands of your day to focus solely on God's presence. Before checking emails or diving into your to-do list, you declare that God is supreme, placing His holiness and authority above your anxieties, your ambitions, and your earthly concerns. It's an act of humble surrender and a declaration that He is the priority. It invites His sacred presence into your mundane moments, into your commute, your meetings, your interactions. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. This is a radical act of surrender and alignment. It's not about asking God to bless your plans. It's about aligning your will with His. It's a prayer for God's divine order, justice, and love to permeate every corner of the earth, starting with your own life. You are inviting His perfect reign to manifest in your personal sphere, in your relationships, in your workplace, in your community, and in the world at large. In modern life, this is a powerful antidote to anxiety and control issues. Instead of trying to orchestrate every outcome or manipulate every situation, you release your grip. You invite God's wisdom to guide your decisions, His peace to govern your emotions, and His love to shape your interactions. When faced with a difficult decision, a conflict, or a challenging situation, you are praying for His perfect will to prevail, even if it's different from your own initial desire. It's trusting that His plan is ultimately better, bringing heavenly order to earthly chaos. Give us today our daily bread. This phrase roots us firmly in dependence on God for every necessity. Daily bread isn't just about physical food. It encompasses everything we need for sustenance: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. It acknowledges our vulnerability and God's unwavering provision. It's a prayer for just enough for today, fostering contentment over accumulation and trust over worry. In modern life, in a consumer-driven society that constantly pushes us to want more, to strive for excess, this prayer grounds us in sufficiency. It encourages gratitude for what we have right now and releases the anxiety of future lack. It teaches us to trust God for our job, our health, our relationships, our wisdom, our emotional resilience. It reminds us that our true security comes not from our bank accounts or achievements, but from His unfailing care. It challenges us to be mindful of consumption, both material and digital, and to appreciate the simple, profound grace of daily provision. Forgive us our debts as we also have forgiven our debtors. This is perhaps the most challenging and transformative part of the prayer, as it links receiving forgiveness directly to extending it. It's a profound spiritual principle. Our capacity to receive God's boundless grace is tied to our willingness to offer grace to others. Debts here refer to sins, wrongdoings, and shortcomings, both ours and others. It's an invitation to acknowledge our human frailty and to actively release bitterness, resentment, and unforgiveness towards those who have wronged us. So, in modern life, this is crucial for mental and emotional well-being. Holding on to grudges, replaying past hurts, or nursing resentment poison our own souls. This prayer calls us to a radical act of liberation, forgiving ourselves for our mistakes, accepting God's forgiveness, and intentionally choosing to release others from the emotional debt we may feel they owe us. This doesn't mean condoning wrong behavior or forgetting, but releasing the burden of vengeance and choosing peace. It heals relationships, breaks cycles of anger, and frees up immense emotional energy that can then be used for constructive, joyful living. It's a daily practice of spiritual hygiene, cleansing our hearts so God's light can shine through. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. This final petition acknowledges the reality of spiritual warfare and the temptations that constantly surround us in a fallen world. It's a plea for divine guidance and protection, asking God to shield us from situations that could lead us astray and to empower us to resist evil. It's a recognition that we cannot navigate life's moral complexities or resist its alluring distractions purely on our own strength. In modern life, temptation comes in many forms beyond overt evil. It's the temptation to compare ourselves endlessly online, to lose ourselves in digital distractions, to prioritize fleeting pleasures over eternal values, to succumb to gossip, or to give in to anger or despair. This prayer is a conscious appeal for wisdom to discern right from wrong, for strength to choose the path of integrity, and for divine intervention to protect us from the subtle and overt influences that seek to pull us away from God's best for us. It's an act of vigilance, acknowledging our need for a higher power to navigate the moral ambiguities and pressures of contemporary existence, ensuring our daily steps are guided by divine hand rather than worldly whims. By praying the Lord's Prayer each morning, not as a ritualistic obligation, but as a deeply felt communion, you are essentially setting your compass for the entire day. You are inviting God to be Father, King, Provider, Forgiver, and Protector. You are aligning your will with His, releasing your worries, opening yourself to grace, and seeking strength to live a life that honors Him. This prayer, steeped in gratitude and intercession, becomes a living, breathing framework for keeping God first, transforming not just your mornings, but the very essence of your life. It's a commitment to a life lived in conscious, joyful dependence on the divine, igniting hope and inviting prosperity in every sense of the word. As we bring this reflection to a close, remember this profound truth: the transformative power you seek, the peace that transcends all understanding, and the clarity that cuts through the noise of modern life, begin not with striving, but with surrender. It begins with the conscious, intentional decision to place God at the very forefront of your day, every single morning. This isn't just a suggestion. It is an invitation to a life more abundant, more purposeful, and infinitely more peaceful. As Martin Luther King Jr. famously said, "Faith is taking the first step, even when you don't see the whole staircase." And I would add to that, in the context of our discussion, that true faith in action is choosing to step into your morning, not with a list of burdens, but with a heart open to God's presence, His guidance, and His peace. It's the radical act of beginning your day by acknowledging the Creator of all things, trusting Him with every concern, and actively seeking to align your will with His. This simple yet profound shift, day by day, moment by moment, builds a foundation of unwavering strength and opens pathways to blessings you never imagined possible. It empowers you to navigate challenges not as insurmountable obstacles, but as opportunities for deeper trust and divine intervention. So, as you step into tomorrow, what small intentional step will you take to place God first? How will you begin your day differently? Will you begin with gratitude, with intercession, or by immersing yourself in the profound wisdom of the Lord's Prayer? Choose one, and watch as your mornings, and subsequently your life, begin to transform. Now, let us close our time together with a powerful and comforting passage from Scripture, reminding us of God's constant watch over us as we seek to put Him first. I will read from Psalm 121. I lift up my eyes to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. He will not let your foot slip. He who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, He who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord watches over you. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. The Lord will watch over your coming and going, both now and forevermore. Amen. If this video has touched your heart or offered you a moment of peace, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your comments and shares truly help us reach more people who are looking for strength and guidance in their daily lives. Thank you for joining me on this journey.